I don't know where it came
Where'd
from.
that come?
They call. I don't know. Nobody knows that. You're the first person that ever told that. Because if you ever came around and my brother said that, you would be like, who is he talking? He's talking to me. Yeah, they call me April. Well, sometimes he just called me just Jefferson. And then sometimes he called me April Jefferson. And then sometimes he called me Jeff. Where he got that from, like, I don't know. I do not. And he been calling me that since I was little.
Really?
Like, oh my God. Like, and you know what? It's crazy. Now that I think about it, I never asked him where he got that from.
You just ran.
And then my other brother, both of my brothers. I have 3 big brothers. The oldest one has started it. When he started it, the other 2 just kind of caught on to it. So they do it too. So I just be like, all right. And I just go along with it. Whatever.
Cool. So
Whatever.
tell me, what was life like when you was growing up?
Ooh, so oh wow, this is a good question. I had a very good childhood. Yeah, I did. I have 8 siblings.
Okay, you got a big family like me.
Oh my God. So it's 8 of us. We deep. It's 4 girls and 4 boys. But we weren't raised together. My first 2 siblings are well, my oldest brother's almost 50.
Really?
Yes, but he doesn't look like it and he doesn't act like it. That's the one who started the Jefferson thing, as you can see. He has a great sense of humor. And then my oldest sister is, I believe, 44. So they were already big kids.
I got you.
When we came along. So I was actually raised by my grandparents,
okay, cool.
which is it was me, my brother that's a few years older than me, and my sister that's a few years younger than me. Us 3, we were raised in the same house. And if you've ever been with grandma and granddad, you know how that is. My granddad was hilarious, and at the same time, he didn't play. He wasn't, I wouldn't say he was strict, but he was not for any games. And he knew when you were running game on him, right? So I was the kind of slick one with it.
Okay.
But he knew my game still. So he would let me go so far and then snatch me right back. My grandmother was the total opposite of my granddaddy. My granddaddy was loud. That's why I'm so loud and like outspoken and stuff. I get that from him.
Okay.
My grandmother was very quiet, very passive, loving, nurturing. Like, it would be like, they were like night and day. Like, my granddaddy didn't play while my grandma was like, it's okay. Right. And so that was the one who I wanted to go to for everything. Okay. Like, I tried to bypass my granddaddy. Like, if I saw him coming, I would act like I wasn't doing anything. And then when he left, I'd be turned back up. You know what I'm saying? So my grandma was like my scapegoat. So if my granddaddy said no to something, I was going to my grandma like, Grandma, can you tell granddaddy, can I go? It's going to be all girls. Even though I probably wasn't. But, you know, and she used to be like, let me see what I can do. And so they were just awesome, both of them. They were just, I miss them. They were great.
Is there anybody else in your family that's either interested in being in entertainment or in media? Or are you the only one?
You know what? I am the only one. My sister does host now, but my sister is still kind of, I don't think she wants the limelight like that. I think that she is, but she's a natural though.
Okay.
And I think she just has it. But she is really, she's not shy. I don't want to say she's shy, but she's not like me.
I got you.
Like, I'll jump in front of a camera in a minute, like, you know. So she's nothing, she's not like me, but she knows how to do it, though.
Okay.
So what I think is, I think she'll eventually kind of cross it a little bit, but then again, I don't know, because she's super talented. Like, she has other talent. She can do hair, you know, she dresses really good. She could style people if she wanted to. So I don't know. She has many talents. So I don't know which one she gonna go.
It depends on what she wants.
It depends on what she wants to do. And I have a little cousin actually, who is a straight up fashionista. Like, she kills.
Okay.
So I know that she's gonna do some things in the fashion world, but I think we are the only ones that are doing anything as far as like in front of the eye type of thing. Everybody else, it's pretty like corporate, works jobs. I think we're like the only three. But my cousins and my brother, they could have been comedians because they're hilarious.
I think I could feel that from that whole Jefferson thing.
Why would you name me that? But you know what? My granddad gave us all names while we were growing up. So everybody had a crazy distinctive name. Like, one of my aunts, he calls her Barracuda. My granddaddy named her that.
What is that supposed to
And
come from?
he said the Barracuda is the meanest fish in the sea. I don't know. And then my sister is short. So he called her short legs growing up. And so people still call her that. Like, our family be like, short legs. We be like, oh my God, it's so embarrassing. Like, don't call her that. And my brother, he's the fat man because when he was little, he was chunky. So they call his nickname is Fats. So my granddaddy named him the Fat Man. What was my mom? My mom is number 1 because she's the first child. So he named her number 1. My aunt, the youngest child, she's number 6. I mean, so it's like, I don't know, this family comes up with all these weird names. My little cousin, she has big, pretty eyes. He named her Big Eyes.
Okay.
My other little cousin, who I told you likes fashion, she's very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? She's real soft, he calls her delicate.
Oh, okay.
She's real, just like super chill, bashful. He calls her delicate.
Okay.
What is he called? Oh, my cousin Kyle, he calls him the King.
Oh, okay.
I don't know where he got that from, but he calls him the King. It's just, we got all these names. We just named all these different things, and then I have Jefferson. Everybody gets these crazy, exciting names, Barracuda, and all of that, and then I get Jefferson.
Hey, you still trying to figure it out?
I'm still trying to figure out why they won't give me another name. So it's all good.
When you was growing up, was like radio and media, was it on your radar, or was that something that just kind of happened along life?
You know what? I didn't really think about, honestly, what I wanted to do growing up. I just know that I've always been the voice of everything.
Okay.
So even when we were younger, just playing around, it was like, if any talking was involved, I had to do it.
Okay.
So it was just like, I guess it was a natural thing once it came out. But originally, I really didn't know what I wanted to do.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't. Like, I wasn't little and I was like, oh, when I grow up, I'm going to be on the radio. But when I got to maybe like 13, 14, I used to call in. I used to call in to WJLB.
Really?
And you remember when they used to have those like team reporters? Remember they used to do that back in the day? And then they used to have the freestyle battles.
Yeah,
I used to be in all of those. That is so embarrassing. I used to be, and it's so funny, my sister used to write my raps for me. She's like, you're gonna get in this competition, you're gonna win. I'm gonna write you a rap. And she used to write my raps for me. It's so, I wonder if she remember that. But yeah, I used to call in Bushman. It's so crazy, Bushman is still in the air.
That's crazy.
I used to call into Bushman when I was like 14, 15, 16 years old. And he is still on the air. That just shows you like,
that's a long time.
that's a long time.
That's a long time.
Yep, I used to call in. I used to be a team reporter. I used to call in for, Bushman was the one who used to do the freestyles. Yeah, he used to do have people call in and like do their best little rap. I used to do all of that. So I think it just all of that kind of just grew on me, I think.
So what is it about radio itself? Is it radio? Is it music? Is it just talking? Is it speaking to people? What is it that kind of like entices you though?
Initially, it was just like being on the radio.
Okay.
So I'm just like, yeah, I'm on the radio. You know what I'm saying? And then it grew from like being on the radio to really being in touch with people.
Okay.
You know, because it wasn't just a job after a while. After a while, it was like, okay, you need to say things that people are going to be able to relate to. You know, I had to become somewhat of like an open book, because it could have been some things that I was going through that somebody out there was listening that was going through, and I could say it and they could be like, wow, like AP just said her car broke down. Like, yeah, girl, my car broke down. I got a flat on the way here. I ain't got no man. Who gonna fix this? I can't fix no tire. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want people to know, whether you're on the radio, whether you're on TV, or whatever it is that you do, that you are still human. And things and life and all of that still happens to us, even though we have a different type of platform. But that doesn't mean anything. You know what I'm saying? We're not exempt from anything. We're not excluded just because people look at us in a different light. So it eventually became, I want to connect with people. I just don't want to be somebody on the radio that's just talking and I'm not talking about anything. Of course, it's supposed to be entertaining. Of course, it's supposed to be fun. But we have a lot of issues going on in the world, and a lot of people are hurt, and a lot of people are going through things. And I want to be that person that, you know, if I listen to AP is going to say something that is going to turn my day around. You know, if I was having a bad day, AP is gonna say, "Hey y'all, my day started off rough too." You know, I'm human, and I want everybody to see that side of me. But it took a long time to get there. Oh yeah, it took a long time to get there. I'm more transparent now than I have ever been. Back in the day when I first started radio, I would have never been able. First of all, I wasn't mature enough to know that I could open up to people like that and people would relate to it. I was in the phase of, if I say that, people are going to look at me and say, that's crazy. Or I'm going to be embarrassed if I say that. I'm going to be embarrassed if I do that. Now, it's like, it's real. You know, people go through real things, and for me to be able to talk about it, it's none of me. It's not me. I tell people all the time when they say to me right now, like, I never thought that I would be so transparent with my audience the way I am now. Because back in the day, I wouldn't have ever shared some of the things that I've been sharing these past few years. These past few years have been nuts for me. And I would have never just opened up and told people what was going on with me, what I was going through, what I've been doing. It just wasn't me. But now it's like I'm this whole new person that I don't even really know. So,
do you think that you could ever see yourself writing?
Wow. Now this is good. Now let me tell you why this is good. This is good because for the past couple weeks, it goes back a little further than that, but I'm just gonna share. Past couple weeks, people have been reaching out to me like, well, I got one reach out, was like, you should write a book.
I think you should.
And I said, book? With question marks, right? So they're like, yeah, you should write a book about radio. You should write about, you know, your experiences, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, I'm like, okay. Never shared this with camera or anything. I have been trying to write a book for probably a year or close to it. And my friend, is not a writer, right? But God keeps sending, like my pastor preached today about how God will send you angels, right? And you're one right now. Because who knew that you were getting ready to say what you said about writing, right? So for the past couple weeks, he's been sending people, and it's been book. And I'm like, can I get somebody to write it for me? Can somebody else do it? Can I just tell them and let them do it? Because in my mind, and that's how we downplay ourselves, I don't know how to write a book. And I'm trying, and I wrote a little, right? And it's just like, I don't like this. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to, I think I'm making it hard for myself because I'm trying to remember every detail of everything.
Okay, yeah.
And it's not gonna work like that. Like, I'm not gonna be able to write it if I'm trying to remember every detail of it. So then the other day, something dawned on me, and I was like, oh, I know how to write it now. You know what I'm saying? So that's funny that you just said that to me, because that's him again about this book. I need a ghostwriter. I need a ghostwriter to come along and just record me.
Yeah, I can't wait. I know you're gonna do it. I can tell.
Can you?
Yeah.
She got a lot of faith in me, y'all. A lot of faith.
So let's talk about your Instagram.
Okay.
And just pretty much your posts. Again, to me, it goes back to writing. It's like mini clips of a book, pretty much.
Really? Never thought about it like that. I never thought, well, I need to go back and look at all that stuff then.
It's like mini clips of a book.
I need to go back and look at that stuff then, because I need some help. I do. I need some help. I do. I never wanted to write. Like, I never wanted to write. Like, even when I was on the radio, we used to have to write. We used to have to post things. We used to have to do 2 posts an hour while we were on the air. Do you know I used to be staring at that thing like, why do I have to do this? Like, you know, it could be like our own whatever spiel, or it could be something in entertainment that we would have to like write about in our own words and post it. And I was on the struggle bus every time, like, and they were honest. Like, it was a mandatory 2 posts an hour. I'm like, can I just give y'all one? Like, I just never wanted to write, but I always been good in English though. Like, I always wrote good papers. I always helped my friends with all their stuff, but I never just was like, yeah, when I grow up, I'm gonna write a book. Like, I don't want to write. And so it's crazy because God doesn't care what we don't want to do. And I'm just like, come on, respect my wishes. I don't want to do it, but I guess it's a book coming soon.
Yeah, check that out next year, April 23rd.
I guess it's a book coming soon.
No, but I do like your Instagram because it is like real inspirational. It is like real positive. It's positive energy and like your affirmations that you kind of put out there. Is that kind of like a learned behavior that you've kind of taken on? Or is that something that you've always been able to do, kind of tap into and be positive and be motivational? And
no,
like that?
It's something that I had to learn.
Oh, okay.
It definitely, I tell everybody the same thing. Like, half of the stuff that I do, I be like, myself, I would be like, who are you? Like, what did you just say? Like, it's weird. You know, you have to, a lot of people won't understand it if they not there. They just won't get it. They'll think it's like, that's crazy, that's weird, like, what's wrong with her? But you have to, I don't think that it's for, I don't really think it's for everybody to understand a little bit, even though that might sound kind of weird. But it's just like, some of the stuff that I do, I don't even believe that I did it myself. And sometimes, like, through my posts, if I post a video or I make a meme or whatever, and I'll say something, and in that moment, it'll go somewhere else, and then I'll be like, I don't know why I'm telling y'all this. Like, it's if you read some of my posts, I say that sometimes because I don't, because it's just that's what I'm told to do, so I do it. But I'm just like, where did that come from? I was talking about. I was going somewhere else with this post, and then the post turned out to be a paragraph about something else, and it's just it's something that I learned from just going through it, like actually having what I thought was everything, and then that being taken away, and then me being at rock bottom, and where do I go from here? You know, what am I supposed to do now? You know, I've lost everything. So how do I come back from this? And
how do you? That was going to be one of my questions. So how do you?
Well, you know, it would help if you had a rich family. That would help. You know, a couple of dollars always would help. I mean, I really had to trust God. I really had to, because I was at the point where nothing was going right. Got fired from the radio station in 2014 after being there for 8 years. Just had got a brand new car and a brand new condo. That was October 14. Brand new everything. By December, January, couldn't afford nothing. Car note, rent, nothing. What am I supposed to do? Too much pride to go get a 9 to 5. I'm not doing that. No, I'm on the radio. I've been on the radio. I'm not doing that.
Right.
So what do? No money, nothing coming in. Savings exhausted. There's nothing left because I'm trying to keep up with everybody. Right. Instead of trying to just downsize, I'm like, no, I'm staying in my big condo. Money gone. What do? Move in with a friend. That doesn't work, of course. Don't want to go to my family because I'm like, what are they going to say? They're going to be like, what is wrong? Like, what happened? Nobody knew I didn't even tell my family, my mama. I didn't tell nobody about being fired. Buckled down and was like, call my brother. I got to come stay with you. I don't have anywhere to go. He's like, all right. So I go stay with my brother. The time I went to stay with my brother, my nephew had just been killed. They were, of course, we as a family were, but his parents were.
Right.
And it was like, okay, God, why am I here?
Right. Of
all places that I probably, or other siblings that I could have called, why did you have me call him? And, in specific.
Right.
I go and I stay with my brother and his wife and their 2 children, my nieces. And I really believe I was sent there for a reason. I stayed with my brother until January of this year. So I was with them 15, 16, and 17. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine being stripped of all of your own stuff to having to go live with family? Yeah, now you all up in their stuff.
Right.
So they don't have no space and you don't have no space either. I mean, I really had to get knocked all the way down in order for me to know that you are not too good for anything. If you need to go to McDonald's and get you a job, that's what you're going to have to do. And I didn't want to do any of that. I'm like, I'm not doing that. Like, you're right. I went back to retail. It got so bad. Because I was like, I can't take it. So I went back to retail for a little while and found out about the station that I'm at now. It just launched out the blue. And I was like, what is this?
Right.
It took me a whole year to get into this station. They launched in July of 2016. July 1st of 2016. I didn't get back on the air to July 1st, 2017. A whole year. And I was going hard. I was campaigning all over Instagram, Facebook, anything you name.
I remember.
For a whole year and got hired exactly 1 year later. Ain't that crazy? But I was speaking that thing. I said, Lord, put me back on the radio. But that downtime allowed me, number one, to get closer to God because that's who I was missing the entire time. Like, even when I was on the radio before, I wasn't going to church. I wasn't praying. I wasn't doing any of that. And so I guess he said, let me show you who's boss.
That was going to be another one of my questions.
Yeah.
Because when you do look at your social media, you can tell
that
it was like this light bulb.
It was.
Oh, no, I'm coming over here.
Yeah, the other side. Because I'm on the wrong side. I'm on the losing side. And I'm tired of losing. Yeah, I was on the losing side. I was losing.
So that situation itself, how did that kind of build and kind of mend? I call it mending.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like y'all just not getting along for a little bit. And
Yeah.
then y'all finally get along again.
Right.
You know? So how did that mend y'all relationship? You and your source. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, it had to happen. That had to happen. Number one, I wasn't growing there at all. Like when I was at the station, like I wasn't growing there, but I was comfortable.
Okay.
So in order for, I would have never moved my feet. So he had to do it for me. Because I wouldn't have never moved. It would have just been like, oh, as long as I'm on the radio, I don't care.
Yeah.
I would have never grew up. I would have never matured. I would have never, first of all, I would have never had Ask AP, which is my baby.
Right.
So it's just like, I would have just been a girl on the radio still. You know what I mean? Even though it was like, people knew who I was and all of that stuff, but that's nothing. You know, I had to grow up and realize that it doesn't matter. That all of that stuff doesn't matter.
Right.
You know, what matters is that you are, number one, putting God first, and number two, you know, going after what you love and not letting people dictate, okay, you know, this is what you should be doing, so I'm gonna keep you here, and then staying there. So it was really a blessing in disguise, but while it was going on, it just didn't look like it, and it didn't feel like it. Neither one of those things were working.
Right.
I'm like, this don't feel good. But I mean, when the Bible says all things work together for our good, that is true. That is really, really true. And I always thought that was a cliche, and people just used to say that. But it's really, really true, because if I look back now, like being there was an awesome start.
Right.
Like I don't regret any of it.
Right.
But being there now was like, what was you really doing?
Right.
Or what were you trying to do? Like, what was the point? Now I have a point. With Ask AP and with being back on the air, now I have a point now. Before it was just like, what's up everybody, this AP, da, 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 da. Now it's like, hey y'all.
I got you.
You know, hey guys, you know, now it's one of them.
With a different purpose.
Yeah, it's with a whole different purpose. It's with something in mind now.
Yeah.
Instead of just talking, I have something in mind now. So,
I got you. What would be like at least the top 3 tips that you would give somebody who's kind of like going through some sort of transition?
any type of transition?
Yeah, anything. Just anything new. Having to get away from something old to something new.
I would say number 1, you probably would want to figure out what it is that you want to do. Figure out the purpose, come up with a plan, and even if the plan does not go as planned, then I would want someone to know it's because it's gonna happen in a whole nother way. It's still gonna happen a whole nother way, but it's going to be better than your plan.
Amen. Today's Sunday, right?
Today is Sunday. Am I preaching?
Definitely.
I'm just saying, because my plan, let me tell you my plan. This was my plan for my life. Okay, so I didn't know I wanted to be on the radio, so when I figured out this is what I wanted to do, this is what the plan was. The plan was to just strictly be on the radio. I had nothing else I wanted to do. And my plan was to be married and to have children. None of that happened. I'm 1 and 3. None of that happened. I'm like, okay, this is my huge plan. Like, where is it? So it sometimes when we plan things, they just don't happen. But it's okay because you're going to eventually see why it didn't happen. So that would be number 1, you know, come up with a plan, come up with a goal, come up with what you would like to do. And if it changes, don't get discouraged. My plans have been changed 1 million times. And I don't even know what I'm doing right now. I just have my idea of what I want done. But if it doesn't happen the way that I want it to happen, I know that it's going to be better when it does. So I had to, that's something that you have to learn though. It's not something that you'll wake up with tomorrow and be over it. Because,
the law of detachment.
Oh yeah.
That's what that is.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yep.
The second thing I would probably say is don't look at other people and what they're doing or what's going on with them. And social media is so big with that. Like you would look at somebody's Instagram and you would think that they are doing so much better than you and they're so much more well off than you. But then you have to think about it. What did they go through to get where they are? Yeah, everybody got to go through something. Right. So when you see somebody who you're looking at like, oh, they got it made, they got it going on. You see them, they doing this, they going there, they meeting this person, they meeting that person. You don't know what they went through to be where they are right now. Everybody has a story. Right. So my thing is when you are going through your story, try not to be so involved with somebody else's because it'll kind of throw you like all the way off.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I've been guilty of that. Like, oh, wait a minute, I gotta do that, but we're all different. We're all meant to walk our own journeys and our own paths, and I can't do what you do. You can't do what I do, and that's okay though. So I would definitely say, don't look into other people's situations. The third thing I would probably say is to just not be so involved with timing.
Oh, that's a real good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Because my timing was like, this is going to be like this at this age, it's going to be like this at this age, and now I'm this age, and it's like, none of that happened. Like, people, I think we rush ourselves to be somewhere. Right. And sometimes, believe it or not, when we think we're ready, we're just not ready for that. And it could be a lot of different reasons why we're not ready. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think anything will happen before you're ready. I think that you have to be ready in order for things to flourish the way you want them to. So I think those are my three things.
I like them. I like them all.
Cool.
1 and 2 is definitely the law of detachment.
Yeah.
I've been practicing and meditating in that a lot lately.
Yeah.
Because I agree that in itself can get you in the rut because you like, why it's not working?
Why is this not working? I keep doing this. I know I'm doing it right. I've researched. I did this. I did that. And it's just still not working. And meanwhile, you look at somebody else and you be like, why is that? I did that. Right. Why is that working for them? Because it's working for them.
Exactly. It was supposed to work for
them. It was supposed to work for them. It wasn't
supposed to work for you.
Exactly. But that's just, you have to learn that. You have to learn that.
Yeah. But it's a good one though.
Yeah, you have to learn. Yeah, you have to learn that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta learn that.
So let me ask you about AP or ask AP.
Okay.
I first want to know, what is like the craziest question that you've ever had?
The craziest question I've ever had, I probably didn't film it. I know I didn't film it. I get some crazy questions and some people be having some stuff going on. I be like, am I supposed to be doing this? Like, I don't know what the craziest question is. The craziest question is probably relationship questions.
I would assume.
Because people be going through it and I be like, this is the reason why I'm single. Because I don't want to go through this drama, this crazy stuff, this pull up and hop out and go crazy. Like, I don't want to do that.
What's the ratio of men to women?
Well, you know what? The guys are starting to pick up.
Okay.
But it's been like all girls, of course. Okay. But the guys are starting to know that they can ask now. Okay, like, guys, you can ask. I like hearing from the guys because the guys give us a whole another point of view. Yep. So when they get to talking, it's either we gonna be like, that's stupid, or we gonna be like, You know, so I like it when the guys chime into the show. I do.
How did you develop as AP? Like, we know when it came about, but how did you develop it? You know what I mean?
Well, it kind of just came it came when I was in a dark place. Like, I had just got let go. It came like a year later. And it was sometimes it take me a minute to hop on stuff.
I got you.
Because I just be acting slow. And so, so it was like, when I got let go, I was getting tons of like DMs, text messages, emails of people wanting to know what happened. And then it was people like, AP, you know, what do you think about this? And what do you think about that? And what should I do about this? It was like personal, professional. And I'm like, people, I am jobless.
Leave me alone.
I just got fired. I don't care about your stupid questions right now. I'm not answering stuff about a job because I don't have one. You know, so I was kind of like, whatever. And then slowly it was just like, I'm getting all these questions from all these different people, and they really want to hear what I got to say. So I sat on it for a minute, and I was like, ask AP? Like that.
I like it too.
Let me try. Wait a minute. I'm about to work this unemployed situation out. And I'm going to try to figure out how this can make me a little bit of money.
Right.
Or, better yet, how I'm going to help somebody. Because I need help too. Maybe we all can help each other.
Right.
So let me try to figure this thing out. And that's where Ask AP came from. So it came from just like random small questions to me kind of putting it out there like, okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to ask AP, and no questions are off limits. We're going to, every question is a good question. I don't care what it is. We gonna work through these questions. And that's pretty much how it kind of just started rolling. Like, it's doing things right now. First of all, I never thought that it would even get to this point because I was just like, okay, so some people want to hear, but some people don't care. So it's like, what am I going to do to like keep this thing going? But it surprises me all the time because I get more and more and more questions. And I'm like the ghetto Dr. Phil right now. Like, I'm the Dr. Phil of the hood right now. Like, I'm helping people, but they're helping me at the same time. And I think a lot of people, they don't know that that's what they're doing. Like, you helping me at the same time because sometimes I be having my own question.
Right.
So I be like, ooh, yeah, the rent due.
I'm going to throw mine in the box.
Yeah, I'm going to throw mine in the box. Can somebody cash at me? You know, I'm thinking like, I want to ask some questions too. So it's working out, and I feel like it's right where it's supposed to be. I think it's went from, you know, the startup to being good to starting back up to being good. But, you know, it's things that we have to go through, and it's trials and tribulations and everything. Right. So a lot of the time it's just been like, okay, I know not to do that anymore, so we're going to try this. And then that don't work, we're going to try this. So it's like, you know, with any business, I learn something every day with it. Right. Yeah, I learn something every day with it.
So I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on the Emily V and Fabulous situation?
God, I hate it. I hate it. And I hate it because I really like Fab.
Yeah, me too.
I really like Fab. And here's what I think. A lot of people, I feel, get comfortable in relationships.
Agreed.
I honestly feel like Fab and Emily are just comfortable and they have these kids. That's how I feel. I'm not gonna say that they don't love each other. I would never say that. But I'm going to say that I think it's more of a situationship than it is a relationship. Okay. I mean, if you look at prior things in their relationships from what we can see, because we don't know, because we're not there. Yeah. But if we just take a look at what we see, even when she was doing Love and Hip Hop, you could see that he really was kind of detached from the situation. Right. And then all of a sudden it was like, okay, we back rocking again, which all relationships do that. But now we're talking about you getting like punched in the face and like your teeth are messed up. Like this is, you know, and I hate that if that's what happened, because again, we're not there. Exactly. We don't know. But I would hate that something that could have two people who could have gone their separate ways back in the day when they were kind of like, you know, I don't know if I want to be here type deal, to now it's physical.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we see things in the beginning stages, and because we're so comfortable in our situations, we allow ourselves to stay there, and then it progresses, and now we talking about getting beat up here now.
Right.
We talking about a whole nother ball game, when before we were just probably going through it, you know, as couples do.
Right.
But when you start to put your hands on people, it's a totally different game now. Like, that just can't happen. And so, again, we don't know if that was the case, but if it is the case, I pray that, you know, she can detach herself from that, because that's not good. She has 3 kids, and she has a daughter that is a young woman now.
Yep.
You know, you can't allow for her to, you know, see stuff like that, if, you know, or even hear or even think anything like that is going on where she is.
Right.
Because you can't, that's not right. And I absolutely love Fab.
Yeah,
like, I've been a fan of Fab since back in the day. And when I heard it, it was almost those, you know, I didn't want to believe that. I'm like, what? I'm like, I can't see, but we don't know.
Right.
You know, and it's so much of that going on now. You know, when you hear it, you can't play about it.
Right.
It's not anything to play about, because that is serious. You know, women die from domestic violence all the time, whether a celebrity or not. We can't play like that. You know, that stuff is serious, and if that is going on, I just really want her to get away from it. I really
ever
would.
have people email you or contact you and ask you questions on such a serious level as that?
You know what? I have some serious questions this time around.
Okay.
Most of my questions aren't super serious. I've had some serious questions. Let me take that back. I've had some serious questions. This time around, they're more serious, and I think that's just because of society and what's going on these days. You know what I'm saying? So I think that they're gonna be a lot of serious, but I have a lot of fun questions too.
Okay.
And I definitely like the more fun questions than the serious ones, because I have never had a question where people would ask me about domestic violence. So I've never had one of those questions, but I do have some serious questions this time around. And I don't mind talking about serious issues. I'm the type of person, I am a crybaby. And if it's real serious, I'm like, why she gotta ask me? Like, you know what? Because I hate to see people hurting.
Right.
I hate for people's feelings to be hurt. I don't want people to be physically hurt, you know, mentally hurt. Like, I'm not good with, like, people being hurt and, like, upset and stuff like that.
Right.
You know, so I'm not gonna say I try to stay away from them questions, but if I get them and I feel in my heart like this has to be addressed, I am going to talk about it.
I got you. So what's the goal, the ultimate goal with Ask AP? Let's say like 5 years.
Oprah. Do you hear me? Oprah, are you here? You never know when Oprah is going to pop up somewhere. Oprah. I believe that you and I need to meet. Just like you met Dr. Phil. You're good for Iyanla. You know, all the good people that you... Phil, Iyanla, April. It all go... I like the sound of that. No, seriously. 5 years, I actually want to have my own television network.
Oh, very cool.
That is the goal. I want it to be a fun television network. I don't want it to be Love and Hip Hop network. You know, I'm not having any reality shows. I'm sorry to everyone who loves reality TV. I'm over it. I had my spills with Love and Hip Hop New York, and I don't look at the rest of it. I'm not into it. I want our old programs back. Mm-hmm. I want Family Matters back. I want A Different World back. Mm-hmm. I want a Fresh Prince back. I want a Martin back. I want some good quality stuff that will have families feeling like families again. Mm-hmm. Being able to say, okay, y'all, it's Sunday. We're doing Sunday dinner and we're watching Martin.
You think that's possible?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We have some amazing actors coming up, even in this city.
I agree with that. Absolutely.
So I feel like if we all could just remember how we grew up, remember what we used to look at on TV. You know, and I'm not downplaying what's on TV now because I get it.
Right.
But I grew up on the Cosby Show. You know, Martin was hilarious. You know, I grew up on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You know what I'm saying? Saved by the Bell.
I was just watching that.
Oh my God, what's Saved by the Bell? Full House?
I got you.
Come on now. We need some of them shows back, but I still want to incorporate, you know, daytime TV. So I want to set up like The Real, you know, set up like, you know, I want some Dr. Phil's and some Oprahs and some Iyanlas and all those type of people on my network too. Like I want feel good TV. I gotta go get my booty done TV. You know what I'm saying? Because I look at some of them girls like, I gotta go get my booty done. You know, like, this is not working. I need to see Dr. Miami. I'm being influenced right now. You know, so I want some of those, you know, those good old shows when everybody were themselves. Nobody's them anymore. Everybody wants to be this person and that person, and look like this person and dress like that person. Nobody wants to be themselves anymore. And those are the kind of shows I want to have where it's okay to be yourself.
So that was the question that I actually wanted to ask you. How do you make sure that you differentiate yourself from other media talents?
You know what? To be honest, I don't even think about it.
Okay, good.
I don't. Like, I don't even think about it. I have been through so much. And I started off I was 23 when I first got on the radio. Like, I have been through so much and I have seen so much. I have seen so many people come and go and come and go and come and go. So I had to learn how to just be me, regardless. You know, and I think that's what has kept me going for, you know, going this long. Like, because I just always was me, but I had to learn too that I had to learn how to grow and get better in what I was doing. And I think that was a lot of the reason why, you know, I got let go, because I needed to grow up. You know, I was still doing a lot of things that, you know, that I should have been past.
I got you.
So I had to learn how to grow up. So in order for you to grow, some got to get shut down. So that's what happened. And I don't even look at other media talents. Like, I don't even look at them and be like, damn. You know, I support everybody. A lot of people reach out to me and be like, hey, AP, I'm doing such and such. Can you come? Like, I try to show up to a lot of things because I want people to show up for me.
Right.
You know, I've had media talents come to, when I do Ask AP's live, I've had media talents come and show up and support me. And when they got stuff going on, I try to show up and support them. Like, I just believe that we all can do it because everybody's different.
Right.
Everybody got their own groove or how they, even you got your own groove and your own flow of how you do everything. I got my own groove and my own flow. We're not going to bump heads with each other, but what we should be doing is helping each other.
Right.
And I got some, hey April, look, it's something going on. Hey, I'm about to be there in 15 minutes. You should too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I believe in that. I believe in helping because when I first got on the air, nobody helped me. I had to figure it out. And you know how hard it is being 23 and trying to figure something out? Your brain ain't really working at 23. I'm trying to get in the club still. I'm trying to figure out what's going on tonight. Like, you need help. Like, you need people who've been doing this for a long time to kind of reach down to you and be like, hey, you know, I got some tips for you. Like, this is real. Even to this day, I am still getting pointers and tips from people who have been doing it way before me. Hey, AP, I heard something that you said the other day on air. let me show you how this would have probably been better. Like, my talents that I work with now are amazing. Shay Shay is amazing on the air. Courtney is amazing on the air. Jello is amazing on the air. I learn something from them all the time. Sugar Ray, who is my sister, I learn something from them all the time. I listen to the ones who have been doing it forever. I listen to them. I listen to them on the air, and I listen to them when they tell me something. Right. And a lot of people at 23, I probably wouldn't have been receptive to that anyway. I probably would have been like, oh, I got this. Right. But now I know I don't got this all the time. So I need to be having my ears open and keep my mouth shut so I can listen to the people who paved the way before me. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I learn something every day. I look at different people, even people who are younger than me. I look at some of the things that they do, and I'm like, wow, that's dope. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like you can learn something from anybody, whether they're younger than you or whether they're older than you. Right. Yeah, you can learn something. I learn stuff all the time. All the time, I learn something.
That's cool. You supposed to always be learning.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, you should be, but you'd be surprised. Some people don't want anybody to tell them anything. And if nobody tells you anything, how are you going to grow?
Right.
Nobody. You don't know everything. Nobody knows everything. I'm sorry if you think you do, but you don't. So
let me ask you. So season 4, Ask AP is coming. What's going to be different? What's going to be different about all? You know, I was looking at season 2 trailer. I think it was season 2 trailer.
Oh Lord, what'd I do? Yeah, wasn't that crazy?
That was good.
It was good. That was good. It was good. That trailer was dope.
It was.
That trailer was dope.
Really good.
You guys are going to love the premiere of Ask AP because, you know, I share some things that people don't know. So you guys are gonna love that. And then the shows to come, I got a new scenery in my new crib. You know? So I'm setting up shop in the crib. So it's the new, it's new scenery. The content is new. And I'm gonna do some things I've never done before. Like I'm gonna do some things where I'm answering questions, of course, but I'm going to also incorporate some of my trials and some of my tribulations, you know, in between time. So you get to see, like, you know, if you're in this situation, so am I. So I don't want people to think that I'm just like answering questions and then I'm not going to tell you some of my personal experiences. And that it was the real main goal for the premiere. The premiere is like me telling the story. And then in the episodes during the season, I'm just going to share some things that I learned even preparing for season 4. Okay. So it's going to be a little different. Nice. Yeah, it's going to be a little different. Yeah, it's going to be a little different.
I really am. So it's April 3rd.
April 3rd is the premiere. It is all done and ready to go. I can't believe it. Oh my God, I can't believe it. So I have a snippet on my Instagram.
Wait, is April 3rd your birthday?
April 3rd is my birthday. Toot. Yes, April 3rd is my birthday, so it's dropping on my birthday. And all I ask is that people subscribe to my YouTube channel. That is all I want for my birthday. And if you know Oprah, can you tell her about me? That's it. It's the only 2 things I want.
Cool. That's pretty much the interview. That's all the questions I have.
Oh.
Do you want to add anything?
Tell
everybody.
Ask AP season premiere is April 3rd. It's going to be on YouTube. My YouTube is Ask AP. My Instagram is ask2_AP. Please follow me and keep up with what's going on. I will definitely follow you guys back. And that's pretty much it.
Cool. I like this interview.
Me too.
I like
Hounded.
Thank you so much.
You are welcome.